Who should Conor Benn fight upon his return to boxing? It's a question a lot of people have been chucking out there. It looks like Conor Benn will return in the summer. Base the Kid in the building. Make sure you subscribe to his YouTube channel. The link is in the description. All right, this is not me skipping over what I still feel like is a few question marks with regards to Conor Benn. We've done so many of those videos, but I do want to, if we can, just try and focus on the boxing side of things for a little while. I still think there are videos to be made about Conor Benn, but let's focus on the immediate future, and that is a return to the ring for him. Eddie's spoken about a number of different opponents base in the last month or so. We've heard of Pacquiao, Broner, his name's been mentioned, Eubank, Kell Brook of recent as well. Firstly, I don't know why. You know what the thing is with Conor Benn, I'm going to let you speak in a minute. I do apologize. Like, all these fighters I just mentioned, Broner passed it. Pacquiao, 44. Brook, retired. Eubank, we just see he got bust down by Liam Smith. Why don't Conor Benn just fight a 27-year-old coming through? I don't understand. It's almost like Conor Benn's being treated like he's a 35-year-old guy coming to the end trying to get paychecks. Why are you not just building him, fighting another 24, 25-year-old? I don't get it.
I mean, look, I think the reason that is because at this point in time, like, he's the next star coming through. And while he makes a lot of improvements. Like we've seen, like, from his very first fight up until now, he's a completely different fighter. He's making improvements all day. But the problem is, you still don't want to risk that star just yet. You wanna keep building him. You want to keep that stock rising a little bit to how Ryan Garcia was kind of being matched a bit carefully for a period of time, and then you let him go at a time, when it makes like the most sense to kind of let him go when he's at the height and you can make the most money. So then, win, lose or draw, it's either you rebound or like you shoot to the moon afterwards. And I think that's what it is. So they want people that are going to test him, are going to give him work, but that realistically, if he's got anything about him, he should be beaten. Yeah,
can't beat him. So they're going a completely different route to what you're maybe supposed to do.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, supposed to, and I think we're seeing this with Dan Aziz, albeit it's taken a while, but with Dan Aziz, Southern area, English, British, Commonwealth, European. Conor Benn's like, no, we're skipping that.
Yeah.
Just give me some of the big names out there. Of those names I mentioned, and a few will be different weight classes. Eubank will be 160, Kell Brook will be 154, I'm guessing. What's the biggest one then out of all of them? So Eubank, Broner, Pacquiao, and what was the other one? Brook.
Brook. Okay, so
quite big actually, you know.
Yeah. Biggest in terms of money wise, it's got to be Pacquiao, and it's got to be the Middle East. Yeah. I don't want to see it, and he's been out the ring nearly 3 years now. 44, turning 45. We don't need.
Was it that long ago, the Ugas fight?
I think it was 2020.
Wow, jeez.
Yeah, because the Spence fight was 2021.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think that's the biggest one. But I think if you're gonna go down that route, for me, the first fight, especially while this whole UCAD and can't fight in Britain type things, Kell Brook doesn't sell in the UAE for him. And, you know, Pacquiao does, Broner doesn't, but Broner will he'll be that bridge to the US market.
Yeah.
So, and I think that with Eddie saying that he wants to get him out in June, like, I know that they want to get Edgar Berlanga out in June as well. I think that's like a perfect sort of chief support for whoever Edgar Berlanga will fight. You have Broner, who's now out of this BLK Prime deal because all the opponents kept falling out. He needs a big fight. He's not going to be able to go back to PBC. He's not going to get money from anywhere else I can see of the level that he wants outside of this particular fight. So if it was me, that's what I'm seeing, and that's kind of what I would lean to.
Yeah, I think I did a video as well, maybe a few weeks ago, saying the Broner fight just makes sense. Broner, yes, says he can make 140, but he's a solid guy. 147 really is his landing spot now. I think Eddie did say, though, recently that he doesn't want to offend Broner by the offer that he would make to Broner. Because, you know, Broner's used to the big money. Like, BLK were giving him a free fight deal for 10 million or whatever it was. Eddie ain't paying him 3 million to fight Conor Benn.
But neither's PBC. So
this is it. So you're right. So maybe it's a case of Broner maybe swallowing some pride, a bit of ego, and saying, okay, just give me the million. I'll just take it. Putting your hand out, give me the million. I'll fight the kid. Yeah. And I think it's a fight that, of all of those ones, I don't want to see Eubank coming off a loss and Benn going to 160. Makes no sense for me. Especially Eubank. I know Eubank's damaged, but he's still a lot bigger than Benn. I don't want to see Pacquiao 44. I don't want to see that for. Who wants to see that?
No.
And then I don't want to see Brook because Brook's retired.
Yeah.
Brook hasn't fought since Amir Khan. He's done. So you're right. The one that kind of makes sense if we're going to go down this route of faded former champions is Broner.
Yeah.
That's the one that makes sense. Parking all those to the side, if we're trying to do it the proper way, what fight makes sense for him the proper way? Like if you're going to try and, okay, Ben, British level, maybe a European level, fringe world, what's the proper fight he should be going for?
Someone like Echo Esserman or someone like Michael McKinson.
Yeah.
But again, the issue is because those are British fights. If he's not going to be over here, he's got to have someone that can attract an audience outside of that.
Can't he attract it by himself?
Only,
is Conor Benn not big enough?
No. I think only in the UK and possibly in Spain.
So the UAE won't. You're right. Those in the Middle East, you're right. They're not going to accept a Conor Benn versus a Michael Mickinson.
No.
Yeah.
Not unless it's on the undercard, and then they're going to be like, well, whatever money you think you want, we're not giving you that because you don't.
What about someone random in America like Blair Cobbs?
Well, you know what I've said? I remember I've been saying since summer last year I want to see Conor Benn versus Blair the Flair Cobbs. I think that
will sell it.
Yeah, from a promotional standpoint,
fantastic.
I think it's perfect.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna go down that route of maybe the guys that aren't necessarily the best but are gonna give you enough of a test to keep building
He'll give Ben some work.
That's Blair. Yeah,
he'll give Ben some good work as well. I mean, Blair can fight.
Yeah, he's improved since his loss to Rocha. He's actually improved.
Yeah.
But I've always said I want to see that fight. So I would love if they could make that.
What do you think the future holds for Conor Benn in boxing? Do you look at him? And it's difficult, obviously, to look at him without having looked at what's happened recently. But do you still look at him as someone that could be that next superstar? I mean, I've always thought that Eddie was, and I thought they were building him correctly, right? He had the name value, good looking kid, speaks Spanish as well. I remember all that was fantastic when he did that when he fought Samuel Vargas. Do you think, okay, there's still a star there that can get to the top, or do you think what's happened recently has really just hampered him?
There's a star there. Maybe not the kind of star he wants to be now, because obviously he wants to be loved. He may have to go through that being hated phase, and you might have to trade off of that.
I think he'll love that.
I think, like I said, I've said on several platforms and on YouTube, everything, like I feel like this is the making of the greatest heel villain story that we're ever seeing, because they want to be loved. They don't get the love they want, and then they go off the rails. To me, this is Conor Benn's future. It may not be in the sense of world titles, but his name, stuff that he'll do, the fights he'll have, he'll be able to keep himself in the public eye.
You're going to tune in.
Yeah, and I think he's going to be that kind of star. He's going to be a star without the belts. It's almost like what Ryan Garcia is trying to do, saying belts don't matter. That's his approach. That might end up being Ben's one as well.
I think it works for him. I think, look, what you don't want to be is James DeGale, where you don't know if you love him or hate him, so you don't tune in because you're indifferent.
Yeah.
Where if you're tuning in to see someone get knocked out like they did for Floyd for so many years, you're still tuning in. Yeah. You're still buying the pay-per-views or pressing download on the Zone app. So either way, I don't think he's in a bad position. Yeah. Obviously, look, he's still got to get that massive grey cloud from over his head done in the next few months, and fingers crossed he can. But I just want to see him fight again. I do. I just want to see him fight again. I think it's a safe space for him. I do wonder, he spoke about his mental health, and I do wonder, people like that, when they're not fighting, I do wonder where their head goes, where they start thinking. So I do hope to see him in the ring. I hope it's not Manny Pacquiao. I think it probably will be, but I hope it's not. I really don't. But as you said, I asked you the question at the top, what's the biggest money fight? And you know what boxing's about, you get your cha-ching. And Eddie obviously has a relationship with the Middle East. He's put on fights there. So it seems like it's obvious. And Pacquiao needs the money.
Yeah.
Pac-Man obviously went for this presidential campaign, didn't work out, so he's lost a lot of money. Hence why he's doing these exhibition YouTube fights now. He'll take the money, he'll take the fight.
Yeah.
Do you think there's any risk in there for Ben fighting Pacquiao?
No, not now. There's the only risk is going to be just figuring out the southpaw thing, and obviously Pacquiao's a wily vet, so it's going to take you a little time to kind of work around him, understand how it's going. But realistically, the legs aren't there anymore. He hasn't got the chin he used to have. Ben does crack,
mate.
So
cracks.
Yeah,
he cracks indeed. Base, great having you down, my man.
Appreciate
it. Thank you so much, Base the Kid. Hey, round of applause for Base the Kid. Hey, comes with the knowledge. Really appreciate him coming down. Guys, do me a favor. The link to his channel is in the description. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Go and have a look. Put content out. How often?
Normally, at least 5 times a week.
Jeez, that's like me, old school at it. That's why I grew the channel 5 times a week. Let's go and support, guys. And on that, leave a comment. Who do you want to see next in the studio? October Red, leave a comment. What's that guy that I really like that you were going back and forth?
Chris Andre.
Chris Andre.
Oh, Chris is amazing.
Got to get Chris on, right?
Yeah, you have to get Chris on.
There you go. Have to get Chris on. So Chris will probably be the next person. Guys, I'm going away for a few days. You guys ain't going to see me. I'm going to be in Dominican Republic. You know what? We're taking the camera with me. We're going to do some videos for them. That's it. The channel doesn't die because we go away. We're going to take the camera with me and we're going to do some videos out there as well. Peace and love.